Hey everybody, Bungzy here with another ultralight review on ultralight backpacking. A couple years ago, I had a review and recommendation for a backpacking shirt, the Columbia Super Low Drag long sleeve shirt. Columbia has a pretty diverse set of shirts, and yet they all look the same. The Super Low Drag long sleeve shirt has features though that are unique to it, and it's still a favorite for all the reasons I outlined in the video, which I've linked to up above if you want a refresher. But there's a new kid on the block, shall we? Let me introduce you to Montbell's Cool Hoodie. That's their name, not me calling it cool. It's called the Cool Hoodie. Let me break down for you why this has now become my go-to backpacking shirt. Number one, it has long sleeves. So it provides full arm protection from both sun and bugs alike in both winter and summer uses. Yes, some super aggressive bugs could bite you through this airy material, but treat it with permethrin and you'll be alright. I've included a link in my video description down below to both the shirt, obviously, as well as some permethrin spray, should you need any. Sticking with the sleeves, it's also easier to bunch up and pull down these sleeves than the sleeves on a more traditional button-up shirt, like the Columbia shirts, which you need to roll. This point is actually more critical than you would think. Rolling and unrolling button-up shirts is a bit of a pain. It takes more time and effort than you think, at least to do it right. You have to first unbutton the cuffs and then properly roll the sleeves up and then secure them with the button-operated tab. Don't roll them up right and they'll either be super bunched up and tight, which will get uncomfortable, or they'll just keep falling down. Because of this, I've found that when I wear the more traditional button-up shirt, I end up just rolling them up and leaving them up. That's not good. It defeats the whole purpose of having sleeves accessible to both sun and for sun and bug protection. With this t-shirt style shirt, it's effortless to pull your sleeves up or pull them down, which means you're far more likely to use them. Number two, the fabric breathes fantastically well and is loose. So it's a go-to in even the warmest of temps. The Columbia shirt breathes really well, don't get me wrong, but the Cool Hoodie breathes even better. And I'll repeat the same fabric advice I've given before. There's a science to measuring the breathability of fabric, but not all manufacturers bother with it. My simple suggestion is to hold up the fabric to your mouth and take a breath through it. Science aside, it's pretty easy to determine if a shirt breathes well. P.S. Wait until no one is watching you do this, as you'll look pretty ridiculous doing this in a store. Speaking of warm temps, number three, it has a hood. Combine the hood with a ball cap, and you've got near perfect sun coverage. It drapes nicely, allowing for good air movement around your head while protecting your neck and cheeks from the sun. It's not one of those snug fitted hoods, which besides looking ridiculous, traps way too much heat to comfortably wear when active in anything but the coldest of temps. And if it is cold, the hood will provide a bit of added warmth. Though obviously not as much as a hat or hood on a jacket or fleece, which you probably are packing anyways. As for shade, there are obviously various ways of creating shade over the majority of your face. A ball cap alone is not one of them, as it leaves all kinds of skin exposed, back of the neck, front of the neck, ears, cheeks, even nose, depending on the angle of the sun compared to your hiking direction. You either need a large hat with a cape, a buff combined with a hat, or this combo. This has become my favorite combo, the loose, light material hoodie worn over a ball cap with a generous bill. It's the most comfortable, most versatile, and it breathes really well. Plus, circling back to the bugs, give your shirt hood and your hat an extra dose of permethrin. When it's up, it will create a little permethrin force field to keep the bugs off your head and face. This system, the combo of the hood and a ball cap both treated with permethrin, has worked really well in keeping bugs away. With this system, I have yet to reach for my head net. Again, I've included a link to the permethrin down below should you need some. Number 4, sticking with the heat. It has a generous neck zipper. Need to dump heat? Unleash your inner Burt Reynolds. Just unzip as far as you like. You don't need to remove a layer, and you don't need to mess with buttons. Same point as earlier. Buttons take more effort than we realize, and when you're zoned out or tired, you're just gonna leave it open, which again defeats the whole point. Leaving you overexposed to the sun for too long. The zipper solves this. Easy up, easy down. Number 5, it has thumb holes, which have 2 benefits. Engage them to provide a little more protection from the sun or bugs. Hands are definitely prone to burning, especially if you're using trekking poles. Don't forget about your hands. And if it's cold, they're not going to replace gloves, obviously, but will give you just that little bit of warmth you need when marching in the cold. And number 6, I think it's 6, the Kangaroo Pocket. What can I say except that when you go kangaroo, there's no going back. It's a ridiculously handy feature. Warm your hands, store your snacks, or quick on-the-go gear like a camera. Keep your water bottle caps and filter bits in there while gathering water so as not to lose them. You don't realize how handy this pocket is until you have one and start putting it to use. It's also as useful in camp as it is on the trail. No more juggling stuff or bouncing back and forth between your tent and your cooking or hangout area as you remember something else you forgot to bring or whatever. Just stuff and go. It's like an ever so trendy fanny pack without the fanny pack. Once you've hiked with a Kangaroo Pocket again, it's hard to imagine going without it. Honestly, it's now a must-have for me. And number 7, it's light. My size medium weighs 6.56 ounces on my scale. And again, that's in lieu of a fanny pack, fingerless gloves, oversized hat, and a few ounces of sunscreen you no longer need to carry. So it's not only lighter than most other shirts, but it allows me to save weight by leaving other items at home. One more benefit for you. T-shirt style shirts like this layer more comfortably than full button-up shirts, like the Columbia shirts. This is a plus in the cooler months, where you're putting on and removing layers frequently. There's only one thing I miss with this shirt as compared to the Columbia shirt. One negative. That is the silver anti-stink treatment that Columbia uses. This shirt, the Montbell shirt, doesn't have the baked-in anti-stink treatment. It's a nitpick, but it would be a welcome improvement if should they add it in the future. So, where do you get one? Montbell's website. They seem to be working with fewer and fewer resellers these days. You have to buy direct, but I have a link in the video description down below. It comes in a few colors and retails for $69. If they don't have the color you want, just wait, they restock up for the season. A quick note on sizing. I almost always wear a size large in tops, but with this shirt, a medium works well. So if you're in between sizes, I suggest sizing down. Take that for whatever it's worth. Well, that's all the time I need. I hope I gave you something to think about. As always, please help me grow the show by hitting the like button and clicking on the Bungzy logo floating on the screen there somewhere to subscribe if you haven't already. It helps me a ton. Thanks, and I'll catch you on my next ultralight review on ultralight backpacking.